Hello there everyone, I hope you all are having a good day. This video is going to be all about brush pens. In this video I'm going to show you all the different types of brush pens as well as how to use them so even beginners can follow along. And then I'm going to actually draw an illustration using one of these, so make sure you watch the video till the end. So this is the first type of brush pen, which is a brush pen with a felt tip. This is basically a tip which does not have any bristles, and so it feels very smooth when you draw with it. And it's comparatively easier to control, so this is a good one for beginners. This is another brush pen from the same brand, which is Sakura Pigma Micron. And the only difference in this one is that it has sort of a different kind of tip, which is a bit more sharp in the end. So it's actually good for drawing like very fine lines. And lastly, we have this Pentel pocket brush pen, which comes with a set of bristles. So these are actually artificial bristles. So this is much more similar to an actual brush, and this is the hardest to control. You'll have to really practice a lot with this one to be able to draw properly and get the correct line variation. Speaking of line variation, you can actually get some really good line variation with all of these. You can see that if I just press along harder and drag it slower, I can get a really consistent line, whereas if I just were to drag it like really fast, it would make the ink flow inconsistent and it will give me like a grayish line. It can actually be a good technique for shading some stuff, so if you can just make some really quick strokes, it'll add a unique sort of texture to the object. And with this one, since it has like a finer tip, you can get some really fine lines with it. As well as more consistent ink flow, so it doesn't blur the lines as much if you draw it with great speed. But to really get like smooth, consistent lines with a brush pen, it's generally preferred that you draw your lines with patience. You should avoid making very fast strokes with the pen and just go a bit slower. This one also comes in a few sizes, the small and the medium. I have the medium variant here. And the reason why it's hard to control is because you can get like some insane line variation with this. As well as you can get some really thick lines and really fine ones, like, let me just show you. So that level of line variation is just super difficult to control in the beginning, but once you get the hang of it, you can actually use it to your advantage to, bring out the best potential of having like this level of line variation. This is also probably the best one and my favorite one for calligraphy, but in this video we'll be using this one to draw a quick illustration. So let's get started. So when you're drawing with a brush pen, it's very important to keep in mind how much pressure you're applying on paper. Because even if you happen to apply a tiny bit more pressure, your lines can get really thick very easily. Also, you have to pay very close attention to your movements and the way you hold the brush pen, because you're not really supposed to hold it like very close to the tip like you would hold a fine liner. Because the whole idea here is to hold it a bit farther so you can utilize a larger sort of area. You can end up completing the same drawing much faster using a brush pen, because you have to hold it like farther away from the tip but still apply a little bit more pressure. So that's how you should draw with a brush pen. The most fun part of using a brush pen is really to fill in the black areas. And that's because you can get like really thick lines if you just press hard enough. And it's also really fun to add details with a brush pen. You can see me drawing his jacket over here, adding like just a ton of detail. And also In other parts, I'm adding a lot of hatching and just, recreating the whole drawing as best as I can. Brush pens are really versatile in that sense that you can do great line art as well as great filling in of areas with the same pen, and it's all because of the amount of line variation that you can get. Filling in black areas especially is really satisfying to do with a brush pen, as well as is a little bit of hatching. Something that you might find a bit difficult in the beginning is drawing stuff like this chain, which has lots of curved lines. And of course, when it comes to filling in large areas, you can do it much faster using this sort of brush pen with a bigger tip and with bristles. You can really complete a whole illustration with just brush pens if you have brush pens of different sizes, like I'm doing over here. I just filled in all of the black areas with this thicker brush pen and adding like small details using the smaller nibs. It just saves a lot of time if you use a brush pen for this stuff. And that is the finished illustration. I hope that you guys found this video helpful. If you did, then be sure to like it and subscribe to my channel for more drawing content. And if you want me as your personal drawing mentor, you can also join my Art Mentorship program. The link to it is in the description, so make sure you check that out as well. And if you want to watch more of my videos, then be sure to check out this video next.